It's all about the money. And if you didn't know it before, you know it now with a Steam machine, right? This is the new business model of today's gaming, where your money comes first. You got to pay through the nose. That's how you get enjoyment. Let me tell you, there are winners and there are losers in this whole deal. It's very surprising that Steam didn't choose to get a bigger piece of the market. Let me tell you, they could have really taken a lot of consoles away from Xbox if they really wanted to, because they didn't have to make this $1,400. They're claiming that this is near cost, right? At $1,400 if you pick the big package. And why would you want the $1,000 package if you can't save any games on it, right? You need those 2 terabytes. Everybody that has a Steam library knows you need at least 1 full terabyte, but 2 is really where you're comfortable. And if you want the premium experience, it's going to cost you $1,400 plus tax, right? Depending on what state you live, that's a lot more money. You know, some places have 10% taxes. That's another $140. Do these people know exactly what a dollar means to the average gamer out there? It doesn't seem like it, right? It doesn't seem like they do. Now, with that said, guys, this pre-order is going to sell out no matter what. Just YouTubers alone, right? Just in YouTubers and fanboys alone, you're going to sell this out. But they could have been a player in the market, because if there's any company that it can absorb the hit and make it up in software, it's this one. It's Valve. You know, I mean, it's not even close. They can bear these hits. You know, and they could have financed these console and make it up, you know, by putting a little bit of a surcharge on the games that they sell now. You know, do it that way. They could incentivize, you know, players by giving them some sort of discount. Okay, look, we're gonna make it $5.99, but we're gonna give you a $99 card. You know, so it's $500, something like that. And, you know, the companies now, they're thinking, well, we're never going to use that model again. We're never going to use the Nintendo model or the Sega model of when they started, right? Or these companies started back in the, you know, in that era, the PlayStation era and all that stuff. They're never going back to that. They want your money now. And, you know, it is a responsibility to make money if you're a company, if you're a corporation. I get it. Right? But it's also, you know, part of your job to take bigger shares of the market so you can make more money in the future. If they would have reduced the price of this console, guys, they would have gotten not only so much goodwill from everybody by purchasing the console, but long-term loyalty, develop a brand new ecosystem. Because at this price, why would you do that? You know, you can buy a portable laptop that has, you know, similar performance. You can make your own, you know, personal computer, sometimes even cheaper, you know, depending where you buy the parts. So, you know, all this stuff that, oh, we're doing it at cost. No, you're not. You are not doing it. Stop lying. Stop the BS. You know, and it's really disappointing, because I think I speak for a lot of people when we heard this announcement that they were going to make this. We were really excited, especially a lot of people that have Xboxes. You know, now, you know, there's another option there, right? There's another option for PC games, you know, because a lot of people own Xboxes. You know, we get the Ultimate Game Pass, and I play PC games on, you know, on my laptop, on my computer, and also play the Xbox. But, you know, it's frustrating that such a great opportunity was missed. And why? Because they didn't want to lose a single cent. They wanted to take every single dollar out of you. Now, what does that mean? Why would they do something like this? Let's look at it from a business perspective. They didn't want to take the liability of all this hardware, right? Because if you make it cheaper, now you have that much more risk involved as far as, you know, customer service and having to do, you know, logistics and all that stuff. You know, doing anything physical is always going to be more expensive than doing something digital. Digital, you're just selling information. Your liability is much lower. You don't have to deal with a lot of the labor costs that are involved when you're developing and making and distributing a physical product. But it would have been the right thing to do, let me tell you, for gaming, for the market, for people to have another outlet. But who's the winner here? I think it's retro gaming. I think it's all these, smaller consoles coming out. I think the Neo Geo, and Mod Retro and Atari and Evercade are the big winners with this arms race that is going on with the rest of the video game industry. And in a big way, it's going to be Nintendo. As far as AAA, Nintendo's going to be the leader because it's the cheapest option, right? And I don't need to see every blade of grass, let me tell you, I don't. I'm not going to be spending $5,000 to get the purest image of a carpet, in a dark room somewhere in whatever release I want to play. It's just not that valuable to me. And I think to most people, they'd rather have a better gaming experience rather than, having the best graphics in the planet at a premium price paying through the nose. And that's what the industry is going for. Not only that, they want your money up front. They want to monetize you as quickly as possible. From all the companies, you would expect Xbox to do this. You would expect, of course, Sony to do this. And now, to a lesser extent, of course, Nintendo. But Valve has always been that place, right, where you get some solace from a lot of the pressures of that the rest of the industry is suffering from, but not when it comes to physical products, not when it comes to consoles, not when it comes to this console. Man, what a disappointment, man. $1,000 and $1,400. And let's face it, $1,400 is the experience that people want to have. Right? You want that storage. You don't want to have to be worrying about updates and what you're going to take out in order to make stuff fit in. And nobody wants to do that crap. So is that the price of gaming right now? $1,400, that's going to be the modern price of gaming. Xbox is rumored to be $1,000. That's if that's the case, then it's like the meme, right? I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna sit this one out, guys. That is too much. If I felt that I was getting value, but even then, at some point you have to go, wait, what? 1,400? And at the same time you're going, well, you could buy the $1,000 one, right? You can also pay $1,000 for Neo Geo. So pick your poison, right? Pick your poison. But man, what a missed opportunity for these guys. I'm really disappointed in Valve that they went this route, money first, like the rest of the industry. Oh man, it's just a joke. All right, humans, I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.